So it looks like the Egyptians are going to continue to expand throughout the Middle East, but I'm more concerned with the Scandinavian region. Because Norway just declared war on Sweden, you're talking about Norway getting a lot of power and bordering some pretty powerful nations as well. Although Scotland is bringing over a lot of troops for some reason, and their Great War Infantry, which is actually a tech above the Riflemen. Yeah, so they might, grab a hold of these two final Swedish cities, and I was kind of, talking about how they'd be bordering Poland and Denmark and Scotland, but, now that I think about it, I mean, Scotland looks like they might be going in for the kill here. Maybe because Sweden won't be easy to take, and it's not that because Sweden has a big military. Obviously, Norway's military outnumbers Sweden's military. The problem is just the fact that there's Stockholm is in an awesome spot, and of course they're always going to be embarking because there's this lake here, and they're going to do some major damage. The city bombardment can probably one-shot anything that embarks inside of this small lake, and the AI is dumb. They're going to continue to do it, so they're going to definitely destroy a lot of the Norwegian troops. And I'm wondering if Scotland's going to take advantage of that in the west and go for the capital. That would kind of eliminate Norway's chances of winning this game. Over the break, I accidentally pressed next turn once, and Spain got to war with Denmark. So Spain is in a coalition war with Germany and Denmark, or I guess against Germany and Denmark. No big deal there. I don't know why that broke out. I don't think there's even a fleet over this. Well, actually, there is a pretty big Danish fleet in the Atlantic Ocean moving towards Iberia. Maybe that's kind of what they're thinking about. Maybe Morocco's done a pretty good number to the Spanish military, and now they're thinking, hey, I want to join in on this. It could be. I don't know. Finally, over the break, I know that I took a really long time to do this, but I finally have went out and discovered coal, oil, and uranium. I'll briefly look over this. I think I'm just going to only be concerned with uranium. I'll let you guys look at the coal and the other resources there, oil and stuff like that, but let's just kind of focus on uranium for now, because that really has the biggest diplomatic impacts. And let's be honest, I always miss resources, and I'd rather not miss all the resources and have everyone get mad at me. So I'm just going to try to limit myself to uranium, but I seriously doubt that I'm going to catch all that because I'm blind or dyslexia, one of those two problems. So Carthage has a little bit of uranium. There's actually not too much, and I knew there wasn't that many. There wasn't going to be that many resources inside of Africa. Again, I kind of designed the map to be that way. I'm sure Egypt has a little bit of uranium for themselves. Maybe they don't have it in mainland Egypt. If they don't have it now, they're certainly going to pick some up. Well, maybe there is no... Wow, actually, I don't think they have any uranium. Maybe I shouldn't make that statement because I could be forgetting some. I could be forgetting maybe a resource or two. The Hittites have some just up north, but yeah, no, I don't see anything for Egypt. Interesting. Wow, that is... Especially when you have like a rival like the Hittites just off to the northwest. I mean, that's a big deal. And that's 4 uranium sources right there. Anything for Byzantium? Yep, there's some for Byzantium. There's a little fleet going on here, which is interesting. Anything, I don't think Armenia is big enough. Sumer have uranium, and again, that's kind of the only opportunity, I think, for the Egyptians to pick up uranium. Because I don't think they have any. I really hope I'm not missing things here. Russia, I'm sure they've got some, right? They don't technically, but they're going to reach out and grab this source here, which is 4 because of Russia's unique ability. They're going to get 8, so they'll be just fine with just that one source. And they'll probably pick that up pretty soon. It's turned 326. I imagine that a lot of people are starting to get to the atomic era, and I know that we haven't seen a Manhattan Project built just yet, but we will, I'm sure. We have a little bit for Poland, a little bit for Germany. Boom. Some Hungary. We have Hungary having a little bit of uranium. We knew about Byzantium. Do the Goths have anything? I don't see anything for the Goths. There you go, Venice. There you go. Get yourself some uranium. Don't see anything for Rome. Carthage. We knew that Carthage had some. Oh, look at this. Corsica. Corsica has some uranium, and Milan actually picked that up. So good for Milan. They're so small, but they actually managed to get some uranium for themselves. And, of course, Spain, a little bit for England. Ooh, England stole that away from possibly France, who would have got that. Anything in the British Isles. The Celts have some, but it looks like Scotland does not. Oh, no, they do. Okay, so it's pretty even. Denmark has some. Norway has one source of resource, or at least one spot of resources of uranium. I don't know how much it was. All right, so we kind of got a general idea of who has uranium in this map. Let's go ahead and get rid of this and see what we have for this next delegate. Okay, so just choosing of the hosts. Obviously, it'll probably remain... I don't know who it's going to be, actually. Yeah, who is it before? I completely forgot. It's Egypt and Venice that are voting. And then, yeah, we talked about the Spanish War that just broke out, and the Goths have chosen to adopt order. All right, so next turn, let's focus in on... Let's watch Egypt for a second. So they're going to take the Sumer capital, and this is a huge city for them to take. A massive 28 population. Lots of really, really fertile land here. You know, obviously high yield in terms of food and stuff like that. So that's pretty valuable. And I'm wondering if they're going to... See, they might leave these two northern Sumer cities alone. I imagine that more than likely they're going to take over these ones, obviously in the south next to the capital. But I don't know if they're going to actually go through Babylon and the former Assyrian capital just to get up here. They might. I don't know how aggressive the Egyptian AI is feeling right now. They might be feeling really aggressive, so who knows. Let's go ahead and check on Scandinavia. Okay, yeah, so we do have Norway moving in closer. I don't know if Sweden's turn is processed just yet, but they haven't begun the siege of Stockholm. Now, Stockholm has a city defense of 65, so let's keep that in mind. So that might play an impact here. Oh, okay, there you go. Okay, so a few Swedish troops have been destroyed, but look at all these riflemen that are in the red now. Maybe this won't benefit Norway at all. Maybe this will entirely benefit the Scottish because they're already ready to go. With all those melee troops, I mean, they could, don't get me wrong, they could obviously use a few more ranged troops, but, with the frigates here, if they can get open borders through Denmark, which is absolutely crucial, and I'm not sure if they do, I don't think they do, but if Scotland can manage to get open borders to move throughout kind of the coast of Copenhagen and use these frigates to help out the Great War Infantry, yeah, that's going to be a pretty big deal. So Venice remains the host. It's so hilarious that Venice is the host. That is really funny. Actually, they're not even on this icon here. They're not even on the screen. Okay, well, anyways. Yeah, Venice remains the host and nothing else happens. Let's go to the next turn. Netherlands kind of moving a lot of troops all around. Let's kind of keep an eye on Spain, too, as Morocco continues to press forward, as well as we have the Danish fleet trying their best to make it through the Atlantic Ocean, going around Ireland, more than likely to attack, I'm thinking Lisbon or Porto. One of those two. Certainly Morocco could use a little bit of help. They're not going to do so well. Spain is smart for building all those artillery units. Germany and Austria are done. Now, I don't think did they peace out for anything. I think they just did. Did they just... Yeah, that's resistance. 7 turns resistance. Yep, boom. So yeah, Austria was forced to part ways with at least one of their northern Austrian cities. I don't think there was anything else, though, that they lost. So Germany gaining power without really having to do much there. Not too much. And then, yes, of course, we have the Siege of Venice kind of going on with Germany and Hungary both pressing forward. This is a big city to take, which will be interesting because if Venice still controls the World Congress, yeah, I'm going to be kind of curious to see what kind of proposals they're going to be trying to get through the United Nations. Let's see how the Egyptians are doing. Yeah, obviously the Egyptians are going to absolutely dominate here. They've got a massive military, and they're pretty much seeing no resistance from the Sumer military. They've got some Air Force units, which is smart, some aircrafts, great war bombers, which can, they can do a pretty good amount of damage, but yeah, not too much. It's been such a very interesting map, It's turn 328, and there's still so much land that has yet to be colonized. I don't know. I like it. It's definitely different. It's really, really different. And I will say that it's kind of kept the powers... It's kept some of those powers, like, off to the edges, like Egypt, like Russia, like, Morocco and Songhai. They probably would have ended up winning this game. I mean, Egypt's doing really well, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying they probably would have easily... One of those power would have easily came into winning this game. But because, we removed some of the resources, it looks like the AI doesn't want to settle in any of those spots. And they must be strictly looking at resources there, which I like because it keeps the Europeans still in power. And because they're already at a disadvantage. And let's not forget the most important European right here, Iceland. Yes, they're going for it, man. They are going for it. They've been just so quiet for so long. I want them to declare another war. I want to see a Scottish war between, obviously, Scotland and Iceland. That would be so entertaining. Okay, so there goes Stockholm. It's beginning to lose a little bit of health, but not by much. We have Armenia and the Netherlands piecing out. And yes, we saw the Sumer capital falling. A small rebel, barbarian rifleman pops up in Denmark. Interesting. Wondering if they're having any trouble. Have to keep an eye on Poland and how they do against their war for France. I think France should be just fine. They've got a pretty big military, and Scotland's going to have to continue to move through Danish and English territory, which is, needless to say, pretty hard when there's not that much land, but there's a lot of units. Yeah, AIs don't typically do so well. So yeah, this is good because it's kind of distracting Poland for someone that's kind of bordering Poland, like Germany, which is a big force kind of in the just south of Poland, southwest of Poland. So it's kind of a good opportunity for them to continue to expand. They picked up a city from Austria, which is a pretty smart pickup. Anything else? I don't think anything else. Danish longboat. Anything else that Russia's doing? Whoa, Russia might have been fighting a little bit of barbarians themselves, it looks like, with their Cossack warriors or their Cossacks. Is it just, yeah, Cossacks because there's multiple? Not I'm not sure. I don't know. Let's look that up. And Egypt's, I'm imagining, they might not go for the northern city here. I don't know what they're going to do. Now, Egypt has a small infrastructure. It's just mainly roads. I don't believe railroads have been discovered by the AI just yet, but they could get here pretty quickly if they wanted to. There's a lot of rough terrain, though, within this region. So you're talking about a lot of hills, and, yeah, definitely taking a long time to begin to melee attack the city. So Egypt would certainly lose a pretty big chunk of their military if they tried to continue to upward and continue towards the north. Obviously, they'd still be successful. Don't get me wrong. They would definitely be successful, but I think it would be kind of a bloody, a bloody war, a bloody battle for something not that much better. You know what I mean? Not amazing. Okay, so Egypt is plotting against Armenia. We kind of figured that. I figured that one. And Kremlin is being built inside of Thebes. So we have Sweden and Bulgaria piecing out, and that is all for now. All right, let's continue to keep an eye on here. So they're surrounding Stockholm. The problem is the Swedish unique units, and then you have a cannon inside here. Actually, you have another cannon here. Is this Scotland? I believe it's Scotland. Yeah, so that's a lot of range attacks, especially when you have a rifleman embarked like that, and actually 2 riflemen embarked. I think Norway's going to have, again, I don't know if they're going to be able to do this. Okay, so wait a second. Scotland just got open borders through Norway, which means, to me, it sounds like the Scottish AI is not planning an attack on Norway. They were probably, because they're at war with Sweden, they were probably just trying to move through the area and get to Stockholm. They were trying to set up like kind of a small force to go and attack to Swedish lands over here next to the Baltic Sea. So, I mean, I don't know. If they could pick up the city, then that's smart. If they can pick up a few of these cities, then that's a pretty good idea, but I don't know. Wow, I didn't realize how big of a fleet Poland had. Massive. Just a lot of frigates here. Now, they're at war with France, and I don't think they'd declare another big war. I don't know, though. Sumer and Armenia have peaced out. Rome and Bulgaria have peaced out. Spain and the Netherlands have peaced out. So, once again, the Netherlands, as well as Switzerland, have kept their hold inside of Iberia. That has been really entertaining, and it's really kind of bottlenecked the Spanish AI. I think Isabella's biggest issue, I mean, I know that she had issues from the very beginning. She took over, I think she had the most amount of cities from the very, very early on, and then obviously she could have expanded all through Northern Africa for a long time. But I really think a lot of it started with Switzerland and the Netherlands landing in Northern Iberia, because from that point on, all the AI was concerned with was getting back this region. They wanted that land for themselves, and they've constantly declared these wars to try to take these cities out of, their region, I guess. They think that Iberia is theirs. So that, I think, has been their downfall. So they've continued to kind of focus in on only really going for military conquests in the north when they probably should have set their sights on Morocco. It's too late now, but they should have set their sights on the colonization of northern Africa, go down towards the Sahara Desert. I know there weren't that many resources, but that really could have helped things out, and it might have even maybe slowed down the Egyptians. Oh, look at Germany here. Germany actually managed to get that settler finally down from Western Europe. So we're starting to see some colonization, which is going to be fun because it adds something new to the late game. Where the late game was already pretty fun, but the colonization, if there's going to be European colonization this late in the game, that's good. That's good because usually this late in the game, we're only concerned with victory types and wars. It's going to be nice that we can still watch out for colonization. But I guess that was a sacrifice we had to make because in the beginning of the game, there was like absolutely no colonization whatsoever. So I guess so. That's fine. How's Venice? Ooh, okay. So boom, Egypt did grab the city just north of the Sumer capital, and Venice is probably going to go down now. Who is it going to go down to? Germany goes up next. Is that Hungary that gets to attack next, or I can't remember if Milan is at war. Yeah, Milan is at war with France. Technically, I think, is this a, what is that? This is a unique unit. Oh, this is ranged. Carthage and Rome. There we go. All right, that's going to be pretty entertaining. Now, does Carthage have a fleet? They actually don't. But I guess, oh no, Rome does have a fleet. Carthage has no fleet, Rome does. Iceland, there you go, Iceland. Take it to them. Take it to them, Iceland. I know you're a powerhouse in the north. No one's going to mess with you, Iceland. Yeah, it is Milan, but Milan is not, yeah, they're not ranged. And actually, they look like they're backing up here. They're not going after the Venetian capital. So I believe that this should go to Hungary. This will probably go to Hungary. I can't remember if Denmark is also involved in this war. They might or might not, not sure. Iceland has adopted order. There you go, Iceland. Or there you go, order. You guys should be proud. All the order nations. All right, so let's see who drops Venice. This is a pretty big deal here. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Hungary, which would be absolutely amazing for them. They could really use another city, and I'm excited to see exactly how that relationship between Germany and Hungary is going to play out. So if Germany had one more melee unit, it would have been their city, but they didn't have it. Oh, you know, Carthage did have a small fleet, and it was actually in the Adriatic Sea. Oh, I didn't realize that. Milan and Denmark look like they're at war, so that might have been maybe a little bit distracting. Venice and Austria have peaced out. Carthage and Milan have peaced out. Spain and France, and Shanghai in France. Just waiting for Hungary's turn. Egypt getting big, and Egypt is getting kind of dangerously close to Scotland. Yeah, Denmark is involved in this war. I don't know why they didn't take Venice, though. And boom, there you go. There's the prediction right there. So, Hungary's looking good. Hungary is looking much, much better. Someone's got to get rid of this Danish city, whether that be Poland or Hungary. But if you really want to unite things, I mean, that needs to happen. It's interesting how Eastern Europe is starting to really look good, like border-wise. It's starting to really look good. Obviously, the Italian Peninsula is still, has a little bit ways to go, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, things are starting to really play out where there actually is a cleaning of the borders a bit. Carthage is actually trying to attack Antium right now. Not a bad choice. Both of those nations really didn't have much of a fleet. Byzantium bringing down their huge fleet. It's so interesting. It's so nice to have a strong Byzantium. We have not had a campaign, an AI-only campaign, where Byzantium was really like this strong. This is pretty incredible to see this. There we go. Okay, so Shanghai is going to probably distract Morocco, keeping Spain much safer. I think over time, Spain might have been able to try something, because now the Danish fleet is starting to finally make it from the North Sea down towards Iberia. This is going to be big. Oh my goodness, this is going to be big. I didn't realize Shanghai had that huge of a force. Remember, like, quite a few videos ago, we saw how huge Askia's power and production was in investing in military. And they sent a bunch of units over, and it was a disaster. They couldn't take over anything from Carthage. But this is different. We know how big of a military they can build, and they decided to finally declare war on Morocco. I'm thinking Casablanca is certainly going to fall. Maybe even Fez, which would obviously be pretty big pickups. If the Moroccans have their unique tile improvement, which should be helpful. Theodora is plotting against Dido. Maybe is everyone plotting against Carthage and Rome at the same time, or what? I don't know. We'll go one more turn here. France is a little bit safer. I can't believe Venice has finally fallen. I wonder if anyone's going to continue to go out. I think Venice is going to stay alive. I think they should be just fine. And now where does Hungary go? Hungary doesn't have very many choices now. If Hungary wants to get involved in a war, they have to go with somebody that's going to be somewhat strong. I mean, Bulgaria isn't super powerful. The Goths are doing their best to take over the Bulgarian capital. But Hungary also borders Bulgaria. They border the Goths, Poland, Germany. And, I mean, technically they border Rome, and Rome is okay. But, yeah, they can really only expand towards Bulgaria would probably be their best bet. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.